To succeed, you must take action. But to take action, you have to have enough self-belief. Normally, people who are successful have kind of like a strange sense of self-belief. They're almost arrogant, using external factors to build your own inner voice. Welcome to the Stronger, Fitter, Happier podcast. If you are someone who regularly listens, welcome back. If you're someone who is new here, welcome to the podcast. This podcast is all about helping you become stronger, fitter, and happier than you were yesterday. And today we're talking all about the power of self-belief and 2 ways that you can actually improve it if you lack self-belief. So I'm going to get into a little story like I like to do. So the story is about a time where I had to drop my car off to the car garage, and it was about 4 o'clock. I got the phone call. Well, I called them and I got the phone call, news that the car was ready to pick up. And because of the time I was limited to basically when I could pick it up. So it was around dinner time. I was making dinner. Then I had to eat, with my family and things like that, wash up, do the stuff that I normally do around this time, and then go to collect the car. The catch was they closed at 6. Anyway, long story short, after I'd got everything I needed to do done, it was 15 minutes left to collect the car. And the car garage is about 2 miles away. So just in case you don't know, the average time it takes most people to run 2 miles without stopping is about 16 to 22 minutes. So I had my work cut out for me. Now, I'm not exactly a poor runner, but I'm not a pro runner either. I would consider myself someone who's relatively fit for my age, but just, an average, I guess, cardiovascular ability. So I had my work cut out for me. And my partner, knowing how I am, she was taunting me. She was saying, "You're not going to make it." She was like making a little song and dance out of it, joking around. But I think she was secretly trying to push me because I know she knows how to motivate me. Tell me I can't do something and I will try even harder to prove you wrong. So that's what happened. I had to get out, run as hard as I could, and get there on time. Now, there were a few obstacles in the way. So I just had dinner, and it was pizza. I had a spicy pizza. So it was a little bit heavy on the stomach and repeating on me. And the other thing was it was actually chucking down with rain. It was pissing down, and it was making it a bit slippery on the floor and harder to run. So there were a few obstacles in the way, but I made it on time. I think I made it actually at 6:01, and they were still open. So just in 15 minutes or 16 minutes, I made it and got my car. And the main reason for that, aside from having a strong reason for collecting that car, which was to drop my daughter to nursery the next morning. I didn't have time to pick it up in the morning and then take her. So I had to get there by 6 p.m. And the other reason I wanted to definitely prove my partner wrong. But the main reason was because I believed I could get there. I genuinely believed that I could get there. I told myself, you will get to the garage in the time that was allocated. And I believed so much that when I got chest pain, when the pizza was repeating on me, when it was slippery, when it got hard and my heart rate was pumping, and my lungs were hurting. You know what it's like if you run, when you get to that hard point of the run, then your voice is telling you, slow down, take it easy, maybe jog for a little bit or walk. That is when you want to stop. Well, I overcame all those doubts and thoughts by believing in myself, and I knew that I would get there. And I kept telling myself that you can get there and you can't stop running and you will not stop running and you will get there on time. And I did. And the reason why I'm telling you this story is because I believe that to succeed, you must take action. But to take action, you have to have enough self-belief that you're able to take action and actually succeed. So it goes kind of hand in hand. Like if you don't have belief in yourself, you're not going to take action. And if you're not going to take action, you're not going to succeed. And this applies to what I did. The only reason that I succeeded in getting there on time was because I didn't stop running. And the only reason I didn't stop running and I continuously carried on running and made the average time was because I believed that I could do that. And I blocked out any negative self-talk or any negative like kind of thoughts that popped into my head. I was able to shut them down and make that positivity in me louder. Just to add to a caveat of that, like, you can have self-belief. Like, people often say to me all the time, like, oh, but I do believe in myself, but I can't bring myself to take action. Well, you don't have self-belief, you just have hope. If you had genuine self-belief, you would take action because you 100% believe that you can actually achieve the goal, and it would lead to success. Now, it's easy to say that, I get it, especially for someone, like, you might be thinking, oh, it's easy for you. You've got a proven track record of, someone who works out. You've possibly done a run like this before. You're going to be able to succeed. You know that you're going to get there on time because you've done it before. Well, my argument to that is true. That is why I have self-belief. You're 100% right. It's because I've done it before. But that's exactly how you can improve your own self-belief. Anyone has the power to improve their self-belief and genuinely actually start believing this in themselves. And I think there's two ways of doing that, and they're really, really easy to implement. So now let's get to the practical points of how you can actually improve your self-belief. So number one is by creating success. So create success in your life. Now, you're probably thinking, well, that's easy to say, like, but how do you create success, especially if you lack self-belief in the first place? Well, I would say create small wins over time, because small wins, despite how small they are, compound into huge amounts of self-belief. Think about anyone who's successful. Normally, people who are successful have kind of like a strange sense of self-belief. They're almost arrogant, or it comes across as arrogance almost. And the reason for that is because they've had a proven track record of success. But often those same people have had crazy amounts of adversity. Like, you've heard it before, where they've, like, crazy things. Like, I can't think of an example off the top of my head, but people who have, for example, like someone who I look up to, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, he tells a story of how when he had like almost no money in his pocket, and now look at him. He's a very successful, super successful actor who is one of the highest paid actors in the world. So think about that. Like, someone who's gone from having absolutely no money in their pocket to being that crazy successful. And it's because he's overcome a lot of adversity. That's not why, but he has overcome a lot of adversity, and that has probably led to him believing in himself so much. So there's like almost a trend to people who, like, have self-belief and then are super successful. And they have overcome basically small wins and led to like that big win. So take The Rock again, for example. He didn't have any money in his pocket, or he had a small amount of money in his pocket. I think he tells a story of like $1 in his wallet to his name, and look at him now. He didn't go from $1 to, I don't know, mega rich, did he? He slowly built that up. So he maybe got a job. He landed one interview, and then, gone from there to the next one, and slowly over time, over his career, this small efforts and small wins has compounded into this huge mega career. And this is the same thing you can do. So say you're someone who has some goals of, I don't know, becoming consistent with the gym so you can be stronger and fitter. Well, one win could simply be to wake up early in the morning, or the one win even before you get started with the gym could be to prepare your clothes for the gym the night before, and then set your alarm to wake up 15 minutes earlier than you do now. Now, while that may not be significant in getting you to the gym, or you may not even make it to the gym, if you set that as your small win, like, just getting into the gym clothes and waking up 15 minutes earlier, and you do that, it's going to lead to a self-belief that you can do it again the next morning. And then if you do it for a week, you might go, okay, I can set my alarm half an hour earlier, and that will allow me to get to the gym before my normal daily routine begins. But because you did the small win, it led to you being able to get to the gym a half an hour earlier. Whereas if you just started with the half an hour earlier wake up time and just, magically, without creating a routine, just thought, I'm going to get to the gym, you're probably likely to fail. And you probably don't have enough self-belief to even get to that point. So this is what I'm trying to get at. Create small wins in your life, achieve them, no matter how small they are, and then take on bigger challenges. And then that success will magnitude and have a snowball effect into you achieving a lot more, and also just believing in yourself a hell of a lot more. And one other way you can kind of create that success and create that kind of basically adversity almost in your own head, if you're someone who doesn't face a lot of things to overcome, is creating things to overcome in your life. So I do it a lot with when I'm training or working out, is I will set myself challenges where I'm almost racing someone in my own head. So I might say let's say I'm on, on the rowing machine warming up, and I have to row 100 meters and I know how long it takes me. I will set a goal of maybe 2 seconds better than that last time that I did for the 100 meters. And then create some level of adversity of I'm in a race with somebody else and they're going to try and beat me and I have to make this time. And it's almost like creating a challenge and some sort of competition, but the competition is really with myself, because that was my target from before. So I know that that person that I'm trying to beat is actually me. So it's like creating that self motivation, slightly stepping outside of your comfort zone. It's a small step, it's a small progression, and it's a small win. And then when you do achieve it, you often feel more motivated to beat it again. So these are the types of things I'm talking about. The next thing I'm saying, aside from creating a success and then, creating small goals, is to create a more positive inner voice and create support around you. Now, you could tell me that that's, again, easy to say. It's very easy to create a self inner voice. But what if you have a negative voice? What if you have a lot of self-doubt, a lot of external voices telling you that you can't do something, and just genuine limiting beliefs that are built into you from a childhood age, or, because of parents or because of teachers or because of your track record. If you're someone who's trying to lose weight and you failed in the past, it's very hard to believe in yourself that you're going to do it this time, because your track record is proving you wrong. So what I would do is create a supportive environment. And this is pretty easy to do because of the time we live in now. We have the internet. Where you're watching this on or listening to this on is a positive environment. There are millions and millions of videos and podcasts that you could listen to that are talking you up, that are positive, that are there to try to support you, to try to push you, to try to motivate you, and just pushing you in the right direction. There could be your self-belief. They could be your inner voice. So using external factors to build your own inner voice. And that's literally how I've almost built my own inner voice. I've had parents from a young age who always kind of supported me and told me that I could do things. I had teachers around me, not all of them, but some that stood out, that kind of, even just this, sometimes all you need is just one person telling you that you can do this. Then I've had a lot of YouTube mentors. So early on in my career, I didn't have kind of money to pay for mentorship or coaching or things like that, but I had the internet. I had people that were successful in entrepreneurship, in business, in as personal trainers, and I used to watch them. I used to look at what they're doing. I used to watch their videos. I used to watch their kind of motivation, almost like their support and guidance, like I'm giving you now, and take that and use that as inspiration and use that as my positive inner voice. And they had almost a blueprint of success. They've shown how they've done it. And that's how I kind of built my own self-belief in my career, and further than that in life generally. So that's my suggestion to you, active environment around you, whether that's through actual people or virtual people. It is it is actually possible to do. You just have to drown out the negative voices in your life, and the people that are, telling that you can't do this, like shut that voice out. You don't have to, sometimes it might be your mum and you love your mum, but she might just be that negative voice. So you may need to just not listen to her for certain things, or not spend as much time with her if that is someone who's holding you back, and spend more time with people who are positive. And like I said, you could literally do that with headphones and YouTube and podcasts. So do that, and you will start to build a very positive inner voice and inner belief system. And the other thing that I find really, really works for me personally is having like strong motivators, strong reasons for why I'm doing something, because that often helps me have a more positive inner voice and self-belief. Because when you don't have a strong why, it's very easy to give up. So for example, when I ran to the garage, one of my main reasons for doing it was external. It was to be able to drop my daughter to nursery the next morning. And that was a strong enough motivator without any self-belief that I have to do this. It's almost a positive voice of like, I have to do this. I have to, be able to drop my daughter to nursery. And it was a strong motivator. So that's another way of creating like a positive environment, having a positive goal, a positive why, and positive people. So 2 ways that you can improve your self-belief. And it is, to summarize, create success and create a positive, supportful environment around you. I hope you enjoyed that episode. If you did, then please do share it out. We are slowly growing in numbers, and it is because if you are listening to this, you're sharing it, you're telling other people about it, and it is really appreciated. So please keep doing that. Tag us in your stories on Instagram. My handle is, you can see it on the screen if you're watching on YouTube, but if you're listening, it is Vin and Beyond. Tag us there. Tag me in your stories, and I really do appreciate it. I will catch you on the next episode. Take care. Over and out.